I thought about Dr. Horrible probably for a year before I presented it to the other writers.
It was Joss, it was around Christmas. He was over at our house. Jed Merce and I were living together at the time. He said, I have an idea for an internet short.
Candy for my baby.
It's a supervillain musical. We said, okay.
At first it was going to be just all of us doing it from our webcams. And then we started making the music. And then Joss said, you know, this is going to be way bigger.
And in a perfect world for me, it was Neil Patrick Harris, Nathan Fillion, and Felicia Day.
I went and marched on the strike line during the Writers Guild strike last fall. I saw Joss. I happened to say, hey, have you seen my web series, The Guild? And he said, yeah, I personally have been thinking about doing an internet thing too.
I had never worked with Joss professionally before.
The phone rang, it said Joss on the caller ID. I said, the answer is yes.
And then I instantly got defensive and started pitching. No, it's gonna be great.
I've already said yes twice, dude. You don't have to ask me 3 times.
But most people
In terms of the writing of the dialogue, most of it was done after we had cast them.
As soon as Zach heard that Nathan was on board, he just went into his room and came back with a scene that just sounded exactly like Nathan.
There were revisions of each other's work, so it all blends together, really. And it's hard to tell who's who in terms of the writing.
We've come at it slightly differently because I'm mostly the comic book guy. Zach has that very dry kind of humor.
When it came to like all the best lines ever in the script, that's pretty much Zach Whedon. Especially everyone's favorite line, "The hammer is my penis."
The hammer is my penis. The hammer is my penis. The hammer is my penis. The hammer is my penis.
Cut! Once again! Cut.
Jed has a bit of both, plus enormous musical chops, and a visual style as well. Visual moments that were key, like Dr. Horrible carrying Penny. Marissa, it's funny because she did the lyrics to Penny's song and some of the lyrics to Penny's half of My Eyes. So doing, girl ballady stuff, but then her sense of humor is incredibly wicked and snarky.
This felt very much like a big family affair, like they were making a big home movie and they wanted you to be a part of it.
He's just so clear about what he wants, and he has such a vision, but he has a way of including everyone and making that vision happen. And he has a great way of talking to actors where it's easy, it's almost a sense of play.
Everybody's having fun, doing a great project, and everybody was already at a level with each other of familiarity and friendship.
Everyone was doing favors to be there, the crew members, the wardrobe people, because they thought it was a cool idea and because they cared about Joss and the idea behind it.
A commonality, I would say, among all the people that Joss works with is that they're really down to earth and all about their work, and they're just really passionate about doing their job.
The fun thing about working with Nathan is absolutely everything.
This is one of the few times where the director has said to me, more cheese, cheesier.
Both he and Neil are people who improve lines you write.
If you get to work with somebody who, A, you like, B, they have talent that you can respect, and C, they're easy to get along with, which is Neil in spades, he's not going to see this, is he? Because I'm trying to keep up a thing where we're adversarial.
He had to be a legitimate villain, but who, the first time you see him, you like him.
Felicia, she's got an extraordinary mix of being seemingly wide-eyed and innocent and doe-eyed and being incredibly savvy, incredibly proficient, and incredibly foul-mouthed.
She's, got that girl next door quality.
It's always fun to pretend that you have superpowers, but it's even more fun to actually have the world around you react as though you have superpowers.
The idea that Hammer would jump down and push her out of the way and knock her in the garbage makes me laugh and laugh. Nathan was harnessed to that van for practically half the day. We only had enough street for the part of the number he sang before he jumped off.
Let's have Neil be a giant.
We're going to film it in super high speed.
He had to learn to do the entire thing like that.
Brand new day, it's brand new day, it's brand new day. How do you stomp around like you're 2,000 pounds in the span of 2.5 seconds singing like a chipmunk? I still don't know.
We found out that none of that was usable, and we just had him do it at normal speed.
Neil's very good at physical stuff. I mean, he took those hits.
He's got a gift that I can really admire. taking a punch. He's dazed. You can see him trying to recover and interject, maybe just negotiate some kind of thing that would result in not getting punched again right before he gets punched again. And there's a lot of layers that he plays in there.
Neil was like, what if you just give me a huge giant wedgie and pull me up off the ground?
But he had to go home sore that day. I made sure of it.
I think that the first day, Zach was like, let's make this really sad. And Josh said, okay, let's kill Penny.
Penny's death scene was definitely kept under wraps.
We were desperate to keep that off the internet.
Having that kind of like intimacy, I think, helped.
And it's fun to be doing something that's so tongue-in-cheek and then spinning it and trying to be as dramatic as you can. Acting that out, the process of his realization of all that was just kind of great. You see the switch not being flipped on, but off.
Initially, when we started working on it, Ben Edlund, who created The Tick, among other things, wasn't going to be involved with us.
I think that Ben Edlund pitched Bad Horse on Angel for years and it never took. You know, he's always like, what if it's a bad horse this week?
It's a beautiful horse. It's a bad horse.
When we trotted that horse out, we're like, I think Felicia was like, oh my God, that horse is a horse.
Originally, basically Joss had said we need a certain number of Evil League members.
We asked friends to participate, and then they came up with a character and a costume.
It was a little bit of like a competition.
That's how we got Professor Normal and Fake Thomas Jefferson. And
Jed is Dead Bowie.
You know, I'm much more interested in, you know, just making, you know, uncompromising, minimalist music, you know, with Brian Eno.
I've had a number of people who know Jed watch the thing and not realize it's him, and think it's a woman, actually.
Zach's character, Time Science Blood Cloud, you do not see in the Evil League of Evil scene because he is sitting on a satellite orbiting the Earth, waiting to battle the astronauts.
I always wonder what superpower I'd want.
If I could have one power, yeah, it'd be probably, yeah, either time control or teleportation. I'd flip a coin.
I would love to be able to fly, even if it was just like 5 inches off the ground.
Part of me wishes I could fly, but it just seems like you get the bugs all over you and it'd take a long time.
If you could fly, someone would definitely hunt you down and dissect you and try to figure out why. You'd have to be forced to work for the government. The people you love would be in danger, all these things.
I think I'd stop time.
there was one member of the X-Men. They killed him because the power is so lame to draw. He could speak any language, but that's the one I have.